You're knowing what you are wanting? Do you like the feeling of desire? Do you understand how important it is when a desire occurs to you? Do you realize that you've been in the process of putting the elements of that desire together for a while? You've been living life. You've been knowing what you don't want and therefore knowing what you do want, and knowing what you do want and therefore knowing what you don't want. And you've been molding from the clay of your day-to-day experiences a vibrational version of more things than we have time to talk about ever. Your creation, your expanded beingness, your never-ending becoming has been underway for a long time. And even as recently as just now, you put more into that vibrational reality. We talk so much about vibration here that sometimes our physical friends feel disoriented a little bit, because you are accustomed to the full-blown manifestation of things, and well, you should be. That's why you're here. You came as creative genius, intending to manifest into the fullest. You came with all of these physical senses to enjoy, to observe, to see and hear and smell and taste and touch, to experience in its fullness, in its visceral, sensual fullness. When we talk to you about vibration, while the vibration that is the basis of this entire universe, while that vibration is important, it isn't the tangible part of life that you are accustomed to. And yet it's the essential part of life, because it's what's behind the tangible. It's what sets everything else into motion. Your vibrational being, the vibration that you are offering, equals your point of attraction, meaning law of attraction is responding to the vibrational signal that you are broadcasting. So an easier way to hear that is that your thoughts matter a lot, because your thoughts are vibrational. Your words matter a lot, because your words are vibrational. And how you feel is your indication of your vibrational stance, your vibrational beingness. It's important to understand that because you are an extension of who you really are, source energy, because you were non-physical source energy before you came into this physical body, you have a relationship that is worth knowing about and worth being aware of all day, every day. Because this non-physical part of you who existed before you came into this physical body still exists and still broadcasts a signal. And because that non-physical part of you is broadcasting a signal, when you broadcast a signal that matches that signal, you line up with an energy. There's a synergy. There's an exponential thing that goes on. There's a leverage that happens when you hook into that same vibration. But when you contradict it, when you vary from it, then instead of gaining the leverage, instead of gaining the power, instead of finding more clarity, instead of being the more that you have the potential in every moment of being, instead you add resistance to it. You slow yourself down. It's like putting a stick in a bicycle wheel. You slow it down, or sometimes stop it altogether momentarily. So when we talk about vibration, while we know it isn't very satisfying, because you can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it, you think, even though everything you smell is a vibrational interpretation, and everything you feel with your fingertips is too. And what you see is an interpretation of vibration, and what you hear and taste, all interpretations of vibration. So you are vibrational, you are interpreting vibration, you just for the most part don't know that you are, but you are. So in order to really be a deliberate creator, you've got to know not just what you're interpreting with your eyes and ears and so on. You want to know what you're broadcasting in relationship to who you really are. You want to understand what you're broadcasting in relationship to others, because you are broadcasting all day, every day. And law of attraction is responding to your vibrational broadcast. And you probably don't realize it as much as you someday will, maybe even this day. You can control what you broadcast. Therefore, you can control what comes back to you in response to what you're broadcasting. You can be the deliberate creator of your own experience. Most of you aren't, not always. Many are never deliberately broadcasting, because most are broadcasting in response to what they are observing. But that's not a very satisfying thing, because if you are observing and broadcasting in response to what you are observing, then you are what most people that you know are. You are a reactionary person. You are reacting to circumstances. And so if there is something that is pleasing to you and you react to it, you broadcast about that for a while and you get more of that back. But if you are reacting to something that you don't want, something that scares you, something that bothers you, something that makes you angry, if you are reacting to something, if you've observed it and you're having a reaction, that means that whatever it is controlling your vibration and causing more of the same to be your experience. Because when you react, you broadcast, and when you broadcast, law of attraction responds to you, and so on it goes, you see. And so we like to think of you as deliberate creators, which means we like to think of you as deliberate broadcasters. We like to think of you as the extensions of this non-physical energy that you are, aware of the vibrational frequency between you right here in this body, in this moment, and that larger part of you. So this larger part of you, the part of you that existed before you came into this physical body, still exists. And as you sift and sort through life experience, you launch these rockets of desire. You know what you don't want, so you know what you do want. And you're doing it so incrementally that as you are launching these rockets, and law of attraction is gathering them in what we have been calling your vortex, your vibrational reality, your vortex of creation. We've been calling it many different things because we want it to be real to you. We want you to realize that you have created a vibrational version of things that are coming, things that will manifest later, and that if you realize the existence of this vibrational reality, and if you care about the way you feel, which is your relationship with it, the closer to it you are, the better you feel. The further from it you are, the worse you feel. As you deliberately feel your way into harmony with your expanded being, then as you practice that vibration, as it becomes familiar to you, as you broadcast it more often, what happens is the vibrational reality begins turning into something that you can see and hear and smell and taste and touch. It's the way you turn your thoughts to things. It's the way all things that have at one time been imperceivable by human or physical experience becomes perceivable by human and physical experience. In other words, you just got to know that these things that you see around you, this physical planet and all that is on it, was at one time only a vibrational reality that through perception and realization has become what you see today. Now we know it's hard to get your thoughts around that. We know that what you want to do is look at things and respond to them. We know that you want to use your physical senses in order to devour the magnificence of what you have around you. And we want that too. But we want you first to understand your vibrational basis and to do something about making sure that moment by moment you are in vibrational sync with who you really are, which means you are more prone to love than to hate. Which means you are one who loves. You are one who loves. And if you are not loving in some moment in time because you're reacting to something that didn't seem all that lovable to you, then you have diverged from who you really are. You've caused a sort of separation between you and you. And that is the only problem you ever have. You want to blame it. You want to call the problem whatever it was that you observed that made you feel that way. But that's not the problem. The problem is you allowed yourself to be a reactor rather than one who creates your own reality. You let what you're looking at be the reason that you're offering your vibration rather than practicing yourself into alignment with who you really are. You have the capacity to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on all the time. You don't have to react to things, and yet You might wonder, well, then why would I come into an environment that isn't perfect? Why would I be born, oh, perfect me, non-physical me, pure positive energy me? Why would I be born into contrast? Why would I be born into terrorism? Why would I be born into chaos? Why would I be born into an environment where there are so many things that I don't want to live, I don't want others to live, I don't want to see, I don't even want to know about them? Why would I be born into that? And we say, that's a really good question, and we wish we knew the answer to that. No. That's a really good question, and the answer to that is because you knew that out of that variety would be born a new and better idea. You know that you are an eternal being, and you know where you are expressing your eternalness right here in this physical time-space reality. This is the leading edge of all creation. There's not some non-physical place. There's not some heaven where somebody's got it all figured out and they're just resting there now that they're completed. There isn't anything like that. There's source energy flowing to the leading edge, and you know who's out here on the leading edge the source is flowing to and through? You are leading edge creators, and you're here for the joy and the delight and the clarity and the fun and for the pleasure of being out here on the leading edge. But if you're going to take this leading edge as it exists now for you, as you perceive it to be, and you're going to allow it to expand through you further, then you've got to be less of a reactionary to what's going on, less of an observer to what is, and more of a keeper to the vibrational integrity of your own vortex of creation that this contrast has helped you to create. In other words, the contrast has caused you to create a vibrational reality that really equals who you now really are vibrationally. And you might not think that that's very important, but it is so important, because who you really are vibrationally, who that inner being part of you has become because you've lived in this body and sorted and sifted and launched rockets of desires into this vibrational reality. The reason that that matters so much is because every emotion that you feel is about your, right now in this body, this personality, relationship with this vibrational reality. It matters so much because you have become more than you have so far allowed yourself to realize. You are richer than you know. You have prosperity that we can't even describe. There is a clarity about you and a knowing of who you are. There is a value understood. There is a blessed being that exists that is really you. There is prosperity and abundance and clarity and love and relationships in your vibrational reality that you are going to realize, provided you are broadcasting a signal that matches the signal that that reality is broadcasting. And make no mistake, that reality, that vibrational reality is broadcasting a signal, because your inner being is smack dab in the middle of it, sending out the signal. And the reason that you feel the way you feel all day, every day, is because you're either resonant with that signal or you're not. You are either aligned with it or you're not. You're either allowing your vibration to harmonize with it, or you are resisting it by some belief that you've picked up along your physical trail. So what is it that hinders, what is it that keeps you from realizing all of this prosperity and all of this abundance of all nature of things? What is it that ever keeps you from realizing it? It's very simple. Your attention to what is. Because you cannot hold steady the vibrational frequency of what is and be a vibrational match to the vibrational frequency of this vibrational reality that is the true what is. What do you want to talk about? Some things. Well, it's going to be a really good day.